Assalamualaikum to my beloved lecturer for subject PET 3073 Microeconomics 2, Dr. Azila binti Abdul Razak. Today, I am a representative from Group 1A will make a presentation for this assignment, which is a problem-based learning. Our group had chose consumer behavior theme, and the topic that we chose is COVID-19 pandemic have affected the consumer behavior in Malaysia. First of all, let me introduce you my team members. The first one is T.Dania Darwisha, Wong Kwai Heng, Nur Izzah, Muhammad Amirul Idham, Nur Emiliana, and me, myself, Nur Shakira. Let me start with introduction. Consumer behavior is influenced by internal and external factors that change rapidly and drastically, eventually leading to the transition of diverse consumer behavior. Internal factors involve aspects of knowledge, past experience, and psychology of the individual, while external factors include social and cultural aspects, technical and technological, economic, political, and legal, as well as environment factors such as natural disaster and disease outbreaks. Compared to internal factors, external factors are beyond the control of the individual. The COVID-19 pandemic is an external factor that not only threatened health and life levels, but changed the ways and the lifestyle of people around the world in total. COVID-19 and the ensuing social distancing measure have prompted consumers to act and think in new ways. Consumers have grown more cautious about how and where they spend their money, as well as the platform they use to make regular purchases and transactions.
So, questions for us to discuss are: how would you evaluate or describe the position of Malaysian economy as for now? Over the next few months, what do you expect about consumer behavior? What is the impact of pandemic on household expenditure? What are the factors influencing consumer purchase choice of goods and services? And what is the trend of consumer behavior during the pandemic? Does the behavior of consumer affect if there are changes in household income? What is the post-pandemic consumer behavior and
Greetings to Madam. My name is Kwai Heng. First, I would like to show the rule in completing this assignment. For completing this assignment, I have contributed in give some suggestions during the topic chosen section, finding the database that will related to the PBL topic, search for the related information from the government's website and article, carry out the distributed tasks, raise some questions that will be related to the PBL topics, solve the question raised from this PBL assignment.
My name is Nur Izzah. Throughout this assignment, I had contributed in first taking part in order to complete the task, make research related to the discussed topic, help others members to find relevant material, create questions for problem scenarios, and join all the meetings made for discussion.
My name is Nur Emiliana, and from this group assignment, my job scope is first, go over the result again to select the correct question, make a question based on the topic, hold a discussion with the group member to validate the points we gleaned from the article, share relevant information and news, and the last one is write the solution in step 7.
My name is T.Dania. I will find the solution of the problem and discussing with my team members through WhatsApp and also Google Meet, and synchronizing with steps with my team members to make sure all the information are following the format.
Me, Nur Shakira binti Muhammad Isam, and my role is form a group using WhatsApp to give and collect information from all members. Ask lecturers some questions about the task if our group did not understand about it. I also fill in the information needed in the Google document, such as theme of our PBL, the topic for PBL, and my group members' name. I also distribute the task to each member, and I explain all the part that they need to do so that all of them will understand. I also help my group members if there are any questions asked by them regarding this task. I also set up the duty to complete this task, make sure all group members do his or her own part, and I also check all grammar part and fix the problem, and give some suggestion about the point that can be written by group members. I also provide my opinion when my group members ask about his or her points. And lastly, I do the part which is to find the trend of consumer behavior during pandemic.
My name is Muhammad Amirul Idham, and my roles for this assignment are find the information and materials about the task, give idea to group members about their part, make a research before choose a title, learn about the trend of consumer consumption during the pandemic in Malaysia, discuss with group members to divide the task part by part.
We are creating a list of questions that we can look into using our creative thinking skills. The problem scenario presents us with several important questions to which we provided answers. To help uncover the answers, we delegate duties to each member of the group. In order for Malaysia to achieve the desired objective in terms of social protection, education, health and nutrition, the country will need to make more development to realize its greatest potential as a human society, to make things easier to realize the national objective of becoming an industrialist nation with a higher per capita income.
Second question is, over the next few months, what do you expect about consumer behavior? So the answer, consumer behavior change depends on some aspect. For example, change in consumer consumption. Due to COVID-19, consumers become more aggressive due to inflation in the market. People need to pay more for their needs. That show the buying behavior of customer differs according to age and income level. The buying behavior of customers is also different based on their intrinsic and extrinsic attribute.
The third question raised would be, what is the impact of pandemic on household expenditure? COVID-19 pandemic has a negative impact of household expenditure, where the household expenditure faced recession during the pandemic. The movement control order has restricted household expenditure. For example, the restricted movement causes the consumer unable to purchase in the physical store, and the transportation cost may be reduced since the households have the movement control. To answer this question, I have found the data and the information to support the answer.
Malaysia's economy is projected to contract by 3.1% in 2020 due to sharp slowdown in economic activity caused by COVID-19 and measures to contain its spread. According to Surviving the Storm, the latest edition of the World Bank Malaysia Economic Monitor released today, the World Bank expects growth to resume in 2021 at 6.9% as the outbreak eases. The near-term outlook, however, is unusual uncertain at the present. The pandemic, coupled with a changing world of work, also raised the need for more enhanced social protection system in Malaysia. Aggregate investment contracted for the fifth consecutive quarter by 4.6% in Q1 2020 as compared to a contraction of 0.7% in Q4 2019, with broad-based weakness in both private and public investment. Due to weak external demand, Malaysia's export of goods and services declined for a third consecutive quarter by 7.1% in Q1 in 2022. Q4 in 2019, which is a negative 3.4%, the largest decline since the global financial crisis in 2009. Private consumption moderate to 6.7% in Q1 2020, down of 8.1% in Q4 2019, largely reflecting the substantial impact of COVID-19 and the movement control order on retail, travel, leisure, and recreational spending and consumption of durable goods during the previous period.
Question number 5. What is the trend of consumer behavior during the pandemic? Consumer behavior and demand have altered significantly as a result of COVID-19. Many of these modifications, like the recent exceptional increase in internet shopping, have occurred. COVID-19 and the ensuing social distancing measure have prompted consumers to change their behavior and thinking. Consumers have grown more cautious about how and where they spend their money, as well as the platform they use to make regular purchases and transactions.
Step 5, question number 6. Does the behavior of consumer affect if there are change in household income? The household income effect describes how a change in the price of goods can affect the quantity of the goods. The change in quantity demand caused by a change in good price can vary depending on the interaction of income and substitution effect. When the price of a good rise, the income effect outweighs the substitute effect, causing consumer to buy more the goods and less of the substitute good.
Step 5, question 7. What is the post-pandemic consumer behavior and habits? People's goals and wants were re-evaluated as the result of the epidemic, which also caused them to change the way they acquire things, consume information, and enjoy themselves. However, pivoting without careful planning entails a significant risk for enterprise. Furthermore, it can be challenging for marketers to predict which of these novel customer behavior will endure over the long term or even if uncertainty decreases.
It is time to start our investigation now that each member of the team has their own individual set of questions to answer. While we are gathering information, we have checked if we can uncover anything on the behavior of consumers in Malaysia throughout the epidemic. Nevertheless, we are discover answers to all the questions. Malaysia's economy is projected to contract by 3.1% in 2020 due to sharp slowdown in economic activity caused by COVID-19 and measures to contain its spread. According to Surviving the Storm, the latest edition of the World Bank Malaysia Economic Monitor released today, the World Bank expects growth to resume in 2021 at 6.9% as the outbreak eases. The near-term outlook, however, is unusual uncertain at the present. The pandemic, coupled with a changing world of work, also raised the need for more enhanced social protection system in Malaysia. Aggregate investment contracted for the fifth consecutive quarter by 4.6% in Q1 2020 as compared to a contraction of 0.7% in Q4 2019, with broad-based weakness in both private and public investment. Due to weak external demand, Malaysia's export of goods and services declined for a third consecutive quarter by 7.1% in Q1 in 2022. Q4 in 2019, which is a negative 3.4%, the largest decline since the global financial crisis in 2009. Private consumption moderate to 6.7% in Q1 2020, down of 8.1% in Q4 2019, largely reflecting the substantial impact of COVID-19 and the movement control order on retail, travel, leisure, and recreational spending and consumption of durable goods during the previous period.
The next question. Over the next few months, what do you expect about consumer behavior? After we do some research, consumers nowadays have adopted a new normal lifestyle that every person needs to learn to live with, surrounded by COVID-19, and now many parts of the economy have been reopened. Even though the market has reopened, the global consumers drop. Consumers are very strict about their spending, like consumers spend largely limited to essential like groceries, household supplies, and many more. However, Malaysian economy is expected to strengthen from 5.5% to 6.5% in 2022.
Based on the database from Asian Development Bank, the household consumption expenditure shows a recession where 903,079 million ringgit in 2019 declined to 860,807 million ringgit in 2020. This 4.68% of recession can be defined as a recession due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as the first movement control order is implemented in March of 2020. the recession in household expenditure is affected by several aspects. Based on the Department of Statistics Malaysia (DOSM), MCO has given impacts on the household expenditure activities, including the households not being willing to purchase durable and semi-durable goods, and also the limitation of movement gave an impact to the households in reducing their transportation expenses, such as the minimum usage of public transport and also the drop of oil prices.
Consumer behavior is deeply influenced by cultural factors such as buyer culture, subculture, and social culture. Basically, culture is the part of every society and is the important cause of person and one's and behavior. The influence of culture on buying behavior variety from country to country. Therefore, marketers have to be very careful in analyzing the culture of different groups, religion, or even countries. Social factors also impact the buying behavior or consumer. The important social factors are reference group, family, role and status. Reference group have potential in forming person attitude or behavior. The impact of reference group variety across product and brands. For example, if the product is visible such as dress, shoes, car, and etc., then the influence of reference group will be high. Reference group also include an opinion leader, a person who influences others because of his special skills, knowledge, or other characteristics. Personal factors can also affect the consumer behavior. Some of the important personal factors that influence the buying behavior: lifestyle, economy, situation, occupation, age, personality, and self-concept. And last but not least, psychological factors that affect the consumer buying behavior, and it shows when the perception, motivation, learning, belief, and attitudes.
To answer the question about what is the trend of consumer behavior during the pandemic, so Malaysians have been spending less as a result of the MCO. According to a survey conducted by the Malaysian Department of Statistics, the average monthly household spending has decreased by 55% from RM 6,317 to 2,813. This is most likely due to the present economic situation placing a pressure on many enterprises, creating a lot of worry about Malaysians' job security and salaries. According to a Vista AI poll on how customer purchasing behavior has changed, Malaysians are presently more focused on storing up on basics. According to their findings, consumers primarily purchase food, which is 97%, and personal hygiene goods, 91%, and preventative care items such as face masks, hand sanitizers, and disinfectants. As you can see here, 69% show that they are only spending on essential foods and household items currently, while 27% shows they have purchased other items beside foods. They mentioned that the current ongoing promotion and sales provided with them with great savings they did not want to miss. They will also focus more on purchasing items like packaged food and household items while cutting back on non-essential items like fashion. According to the result finding that we got from internet, Malaysians are increasingly turning to internet shopping. 60% of response surveys mentioned that they have been making more purchases online compared to pre-COVID levels. It shows that during a pandemic, consumers are likely to go shopping online because they obey the instruction from the government. They only go offline shopping for important things. Next trend of consumer behavior during the pandemic is 97% of consumers mostly buy groceries because of movement control order, which means people just stay at home and need supplies to get on with their life. Besides, 91% of consumers buy personal hygiene items to protect themselves during the outbreak. This means the trend of consumer behavior during a pandemic has changed on buying items that are important for personal care.
Step 6, question number 6. Does the behavior of consumer affect if there are change in household? The income effect is a component of consumer choice theory that expresses how change in relative market price and income impact consumption pattern for consumer goods and services. When real consumer income rise, consumer will purchase a greater quantity of normal economic goods. In consumer choice theory, the income effect and substitution effect are related economic concepts. The income effect describes how in purchasing power affect consumption, whereas the substitute effect describes how change relative price affect the consumption pattern if related goods that can substitute for one another.
Step 6, question 7. Probability of activities becoming habits. The first one is opportunities for innovation, which is improvement needed with current product and services. Next is key behavior for the future, which is existing product and services are delivering against what's important to consumer. Low potential for lasting behavioral change, which is activities not delivering against what's important to consumer. And the last one is short-term solution for COVID only.
Step 7. Solution for consumer behavior that affected by pandemic COVID-19 is first, National Recovery Economic Plan, which is T.Dania. The government has guided the country through these difficult times by focusing on 6 key steps, and we are now in the 4th, recovery. When the country entered the recovery phase, the government released the National Economic Plan or T.Dania. This benefit can be seen the plan's 3 main goals. First is the ability to empower people, ensuring purchasing power and saving are increased. Second is achieve a luxury to a necessity. During pandemic, sources of consumer are primarily affected, and as a result, their expenditure is quite limited. Solution to this issue is consumers should shift their spending towards essential items, prioritizing items of value over large investment or luxury purchases. Furthermore, the remaining funds can be set aside for emergency purposes. It could be an unexpected medical bill, car repair, or temporary loss of income. There are numerous reasons why an emergency fund is essential for dealing with unexpected expenses. Next, a fully digital lifestyle. The pandemic has fueled an already expanding trend of online shopping. It has encouraged experimentation, enticing consumers to try new ways to get product and service. Cashless payment methods have also grown in popularity as a result of social distancing measures. The solution is consumer value proposition shift to prioritize care, well-being, and innovation. Due to pandemic, nearly half of the world urban consumers said that they were making dietary change, taking supplement, incorporating plant-based food option, or restricting certain food groups to live a healthier lifestyle. Following the outbreak, there was huge renewed emphasis not only on diet, but also on the holistic concept of healthy living. Lastly is breaking from traditional. With so many restrictions on social interaction, consumers are devising novel ways to live, work, and celebrate in a secure manner. Weddings, funerals, birthday parties, and other gatherings are increasingly being held virtually on video conferencing platforms like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Most in-person events must now be modified to comply with social distancing norms and local COVID-19 regulations.
Now I will talk about pros and cons of solution discussed. There are 5 solutions, which is National Economic Recovery Plan, T.Dania, a shift from luxury to necessity, a fully digital lifestyle, consumer value proposition shift to prioritize care, well-being, and innovation, and the last one is breaking from traditional. The first one is National Economic Recovery Plan, T.Dania. For pros, enable work and reduce unemployment, ensure affordability and provide liquidity, on digitalization and operating in new norms, increase consumer and investor confidence. Cons, house rental issue not even recognized, misplaced priorities. T.Dania package does not address the loss of income of the approximate 1.5 million daily paid workers in the informal sector. Second, a shift from luxury to necessity. Pros, saving income increases. People change their mind about which goods and services they now consider essential and which they could not live without. Cons, unable to satisfy self-will to buy something desired. The third one is a fully digital lifestyle. Pros: connectivity, communication speed and versatile working. Digital devices are portable. The quality of the stored information is preserved. Cons: manipulation of digital media, diminishing job opportunity, plagiarism and copyright, data security. Next, consumer value proposition shift to prioritize care, well-being and innovation. Pros: have a chance to train employees, get to create new, long-lasting products and services, build good relationships. And for the cons, creative jobs are often precarious. Last is breaking from traditional. For pros, time flexibility, no need to commute, reduce risk of contracting the COVID-19. And cons is issue with performing tasks, back pain, and long meetings.
Okay, now we move to step 8. Step 8 is me and my team are going to present our result to the evaluators, and we need to provide an executive summary and our solution and tell them how the system works. The first solution is National Recovery Economic Plan, which is called PENJANA. The government announced the program Strategic Memperkasa Rakyat dan Ekonomi Permakasan, which is the program to control the COVID-19 infection and to assist the country growth. Government introduced 6R, the strategy to handle the pandemic and revive Malaysia's economy. 6R consists of resolve, resilient, restart, recover, revitalize, and reform. So, in restart phase, the government released the National Economic Recovery Plan, PENJANA, and PENJANA provide a lot of initiative for economic recovery, and from the PENJANA, many people got a lot of benefit.
The second solution is a shift from luxury to necessity. Consumers around the world are less optimistic about economic recovery in the aftermath of COVID-19 and are thus spending less on discretionary items such as travel and clothing. Solution to this is consumers should shift their spending toward essential items, prioritizing items of value over large advertisement or luxury purchases. Besides, there are numerous reasons why an emergency fund is essential for dealing with unexpected expenses. It could be an unexpected medical bill, car repairs, or a temporary loss of income. The third solution is a fully digital lifestyle. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, consumers are starting to adopt a new norm. Many business activities have been stopped and people have lost their jobs. A digital lifestyle is actually a development by the government to keep the economy on track. For example, the government recommends e-commerce, which is all business activity that can be run with an online method. Consumers can buy anything like food, groceries, or other essential needs only with their smartphones. The rise in digital lifestyle habits also creates an opportunity for sellers to grow their business to a bigger market.
Solution number 4 is consumer value proposition shift to prioritize care, well-being, and innovation. When this pandemic occurred, almost half of the city's population had made change to their diet, where they have taken supplements, incorporated plant-based food groups, or did not take certain food groups. In the short run, businesses that exhibit empathy and a human approach to dealing with the epidemic will continue to win over a client base that is becoming more values-driven.
The last solution is breaking from traditional. In this new norm, there's been a trend of improvising that has resulted in change in consumer demand across various industries. For example, when closures by restricting movement, more employees have implemented work from home for their employees. As a result, the technology industry has been shocked by the rise of laptops and internet routers. Many companies in the business process outsourcing (BPO) industry have to shift to a work from home model, which requires all well-planned and implemented work from home strategy. Companies should be efficient in reviewing their customer service and work from home policies on a regular basis as the epidemic creates new norms and change in the consumer demand.